Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this extra special edition of Carnation Crafts TV. Do not adjust your set. My name is Andy. You might be expecting Dave to be joining you on the launch of something exciting from Carnation Crafts. Dave is the modern day Judith Chalmers, and he has gone gallivanting, so he is away on holiday. So Carnation asked me to fill in, and I've been a big fan of the brand for a number of years, so naturally I was very excited to do so. So hopefully you will be able to tolerate my voice and my presence today. But you know what? Already a lot of you have already been checking out Carnation on the launch of this brand new collection that we've got available for you, and it's already proving incredibly popular. You can see the details are there on your screen. If you've never ever ordered from Carnation Crafts before, it's very easy to do so. We will cover that as we go. You can go onto the website carnationcrafts.co.uk. The headlines are, this is the Hazy Horizons collection. There are an incredible 63 dies included in this collection, and the price is absolutely incredible. If you're someone who subscribes to the Carnation Crafts newsletter, you know you'll already have a discount code, but there is also another one in existence that will entitle you up to an extra 10% taken off this price. So you can see it's double C, double H10. That'll take it down to £89.99. The reason I mentioned the other code is because only one code will work at once. So whichever one you use, you're going to get it for only £89.99. Now, as I said, it's wonderful to be here. Certainly is a thrill. It's such a lovely audience. I'd like to take you home with me. Oh, sorry, no, it's the Beatles. But if you'd like to leave messages, we'd love to read them at the bottom. Taz, who's producing the show, has already got head in the hands. I've known Taz for a number of years. That's got to be a record. About 2 minutes in, already given up. But I'm also very privileged to say I'm not here on my own. And probably for the good of Carnation Crafts, I'm not here on my own. Carla Bagshaw's here as well.
That's a very formal introduction. I don't think I've ever been formally introduced before.
It's really behaving.
Yeah, give it 5. Good morning, everybody. So, just to interrupt Andy, first of all, good morning to you all. Lots of people saying you're very sorry that Dave is not here and that Andy is. We understand.
Yeah, it's very sorry.
But just to let you all know, so quick message from Carnation Crafts. Yesterday, the website just went nuts. We knew it was going to. We knew that was going to happen. However, it did cause some problems for some of you where you had placed an order and then it looked like it hadn't gone through and you placed it again. So God love them. Mark sat last night. I was on the phone with him at about midnight last night and he was still in the office. They have worked through all of the orders. They've reimbursed those who had multiple orders and that has all been rectified. You will have an email from Carnation Crafts. They have worked all night on this. They've made everything correct as far as we know. If there are anything that was missed, please feel free to email Carnation Crafts Customer Services, which is customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk. They will obviously take it. But other than that, their emails are just stampeded at the minute. So they are aware of all issues. Now, as a kind of grace to that, part of the issue that happened is that everybody who went on tried to download that £20 free vignette selection that you get with this collection, which is an amazing deal. It's those downloads that use the bandwidth so much, so it just causes some issues. Consequently, they're going to give you an extra week to get your vignettes, so you can slow down on that if you need to. You're not going to lose the opportunity to get them for free, and so where this offer ends on Sunday night at midnight, they're going to give you an extra week to get those vignettes. Massive apologies to everybody, but it's all done and dealt with, and thank you very much for your patience. We appreciate it massively. Andy.
Thank you very much, Carla. Yes, indeed. All right, good to get that information out there. Of course, this is all down to the fact that this collection and those vignettes have been proving immensely popular. And I have to say, already half the stock of this collection has gone. So if you want to get in early and order yours, your item number is 230501 for your Hazy Horizons collection. Let's take a closer look at exactly what it is you are getting. So as I said, you can see there are 8 packs within here. Divided amongst all those packs are those 63 dies. The price you're getting today, it works out at 70 pence a die. And when Carla goes through the boards, you'll see just how big some of these dies are. One of the many things that we love about Carnation is the fact that all of the designs you see here are designed in-house by Nick. He's the head designer and his team, and so everything you're getting here comes from one source, comes from one person's imagination or team's imagination, and that's what makes the collection truly unique. It's one of the reasons why I've been passionate about Carnation Crafts for a number of years, and I know you have as well. So you're getting something really, really exciting. And the fact that you're getting also at a reduced price, you can take advantage of the extension on those vignettes as well, is certainly well worth taking advantage of. Whilst you're making a saving there in terms of those dies, and I have got some finished examples to show you, we'll have a look at those as we go. Why not add in the Hazy Horizons Perfect Papers? They're the perfect complement for you to use in conjunction, and these aren't just a random selection of colours. These have been specifically chosen to work with the designs that you're getting included on the Hazy Horizons. So again, it's 48 A4 sheets. These are 300 GSM as well, so a good card weight, perfect for your matting and layering and indeed scoring. And you can see not only are you getting the various different colours, you're getting very different textures within there as well. Again, we shall see those in action as Carla goes through the demonstration. If you want to add those in, they're £14.99, and the item number is 230514. So again, to reiterate, if you do want to take advantage of the Perfect Papers, and if you do want to take advantage of this brand new collection we have courtesy of Carnation Crafts, you'll need to get your orders in early because half the stock has gone. But we also appreciate that this might be the first time that some of you have seen it, so should we take a closer look at exactly what you're getting with Carla, because you have the boards ready.
I have got the boards. We're going to have a really quick route through these so you can all see them. If you saw the Facebook preview yesterday, you have already seen what's coming in. It's so lovely. This collection is so nice. We're going to go through that, and then we're going to run through some demos for you as well. We will be back at 11 o'clock and 1 p.m, so you will have 3 chances today for demos, and I know a lot of you are going to receive yours tomorrow, so it gives you the chance to see some demos in action and see what you're going to be playing with when you get it. It's really lovely. So let's have a look at the dies that you're getting. So there's 2 frames this time, 2 card bases if you like, and you've got the weathered square and you've got the weathered circle, and I love them so much. And actually, because we've got the better camera and the better lighting, you can see the really beautiful artwork for your vignette. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, very
really
nice.
Muted grey. Really great for doing aperture cards. You'll see some of that today during demo, but also great for doing your layered cards. You can choose how many layers you want to use. You can really build up. If you're going to keep it exactly like this, I'll be totally honest with you, just a sentiment on there, and that is really stunning just as it is. You don't really need to add much else. It's just gorgeous. The circle one takes on a very, very nautical theme. It's got that really beautiful kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, with the red and white circle with the rope around it for the life.
Life buoys.
It's a circle. It reminds me of that. We don't know the words, but it reminds me very much of that. It's very beautiful. You've got those layers going on through it as well. Brilliant for easel cards. Really, really good on your easels for this one. So sort of just an easy way of doing it. Obviously, it does work in a set way. So these points that you've got are very specific to the card base, so just make sure you turn it in the right place, because my brain got a little bit frazzled when I first
The dimension
started.
you've got on that top one is quite incredible. It looks like a small, like, orrery.
Doesn't it? Really beautiful, isn't it? Really, really pretty. It's the vignettes. It's the fact that the artwork is done in such a meticulous way. It allows it to shine in the way it wants. Then we've got Brian. We've got Brian.
I think a better name is Stephen.
Not Steven Seagal, no. You're not having it, it's Brian. And he's got a rubber ring or a surfboard, whichever way you want to have it, and then he's got a sun hat, and he is very, very beautiful, and I love him. So I think everybody wants Brian because he's just very, very sweet. So again, you can see you get your mats for this as well. So you can make a card just out of the one piece, or you can obviously bring him in. We're going to look at Brian a little bit today, and we'll be looking at sculpting and shaping all of the papers that you get from Carnation, seeing how we can create dimension. That's a right corker of a board.
Look at this, my word.
That is a right corker of a board. This collection is massive. You are getting so much. Ice cream, signpost, rocks, the little boat, your sandcastle, your shells, your anchor, your chips, your spade and fork. Is that what you would call them? No, because there's no bucket there.
Oh, I know what you mean. That's all, yes, you would call that a fork, I guess.
And then you've got your flop flips, and you've got your sand, and you've got your wheel as well.
Your steering wheel.
Steering wheel, which is just really beautiful. You can start to see, just perspective-wise, how you're going to be able to build this. I was saying yesterday, having some of that sand line, and the sand is just awesome to use. Some behind the rock, some in front of it. Adding in textural pieces like this, where the sand is still matching in because the colourway is exact. Same with the flip-flops. It just builds this really gorgeous scene. So we move on to this one, which is more traditional, not actually necessarily coastal. So you've got more sand here. This is a really useful piece. You can layer this and layer it. It's so easy to use. And again, you've got the piece here. You've got the hat sitting on there and that bag, that beach bag. Really easy to work with. Lots of ways to cut into this. Lots of different things that you can do with it. It's going to be a really useful piece in your crafting. Your gorgeous florals. Carnation wouldn't be Carnation if you didn't get some florals in your collection. And these are your beach ones. These are your June florals. Really pretty and really vivid, bright, gorgeous colours. So those yellows, those reds, they just make a really lovely pop. Really great shapes for doing your base cards, giving you grounding devices. Lots and lots of ways and useful sort of turns you can make with these. And then, look. They've got swim trunks on. They're totally wearing swim trunks. They're just cute.
I think one of them has a bikini.
One of them does have a bikini, and she is reading, I think, or
Not
pretending
necessarily she. Could be 2023, Carla. Open your mind a little bit. Could be a man. Hashtag woke bloke. He's back.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry for the people at home. It's only a one-off. And then you've got him in his yellow trunks, and you've got the beautiful flowing towel. Really sweet, right? These are so lovely for crafting with. He's really useful. So if you cut this away, do you see the rocks that we were looking at a moment ago? If you put him on there, you get this gorgeous height difference between the two mice, and then you can use those florals as a grounding device. Cute as a button. You'll see that in demo. And then this one, Mr. His Taz, there's still one. This is the one you're going to use all the time. It's not the showstopper. It's not like you're looking at this and going, wow, that's like, it's crazy beautiful. But you will use it all the time. You can mold it, you can shape it, you can manipulate it. Lots of ways of using this. And there is a finished sample. I don't know if it's up here or downstairs, but we will show you it at some point that Janine did, and it's just beautifully textural. I think it's an easel card, and she used this in the most gorgeous way. So we'll show you that, and you can sort of see what you can do with it. This is the Hazy Horizons collection, and it's absolutely stunning. You're going to have so much fun with it. Works beautifully with coastal currents, really, really good with coastal currents. And you were saying in the chat yesterday about it working with Water's Edge as well. There's lots of ways that you're going to be able to bring in your other collections. It's not the only two dyes, not the only two, it's not the only dyes. I've crushed that, they're going to shout at me. Don't tell the people at Carnation. There's two more things for you to look at here. There are two extra dyes that you can buy separately. So it's not part of the collection, but they work in conjunction with it, and they're stunning. So you've got the open net here, just gorgeous as a DL. That is not there. Don't look at the crushed bit. But take this away from anything coastal. This section here is truly beautiful. So it's a bit, can you remember the chicken wire dye? It's a little bit kind of textural like that. So putting that behind an aperture is stunning. Putting things, if you've got depth, putting something behind, then that on top, and then something in the corner, so pretty. Lots of ways of playing with it. But think of using it as a trellis. Think of tucking your florals through it and weaving up and just creating the most gorgeous bloom on your DL shape. This is a right little corker to have in your collection. You also get the base card and the mat as well. That's your open net, and then Be Still My Beating Heart. How blooming gorgeous is that as a DL? Absolutely ridiculously pretty. Look at the rope. Isn't that so pretty? Think of your grounding devices. The mice could be tightrope walking.
Yes.
Oh, I just got all excited. They could totally be doing all of the things. You've got all of your layers here with that beautiful rope edge. These are stunning. Now, obviously, at the minute, you've got that code CCHH10. Got to be in capitals, guys. If you use that, you can get, I believe, you can get 10% off these today, I think. Mr. Taz is nodding, so I can't be wholly wrong. Now's the time. And the other thing I'm just going to very quickly say, before I hand back over, go and look on the deal of the day today. Go and look. Deal of the day today is amazing. Amazing.
Why don't we have a look what the deal of the day is?
It's really good. So, website, button in the middle, red, deal of the day. Guys!
What? It's that very glass mat that you're going to be using.
It is. 35% off, guys.
$14.99.
And that's A3, tempered glass. It's got the little carnation mice on it. It's super cute. I've got it in front of me, but mine's a bit dirty. Yours will come clean. Don't tell Carnate. Look, it's got the mice on it from Crafty Little Things.
Oh, wow.
It's so cute.
Nice little detail, isn't it? That's a very good price for a glass mat, isn't it?
It's really good. It's tempered glass. It's A3. You'll find that as far as, you know, competitively priced, that's as good as it's going to get really for your A3 tempered glass. So please do think about, if you're wanting a glass cutting mat, think about doing that today. If you use your code from your newsletter, you can get, can you? Oh, Miss Taz is saying no, not on the deal of the day.
It's already a good
that
price.
Makes sense.
$14.99.
Come on, Carla.
Dude.
I've never seen it at that price.
I can't remember what they reduced it to last time.
It was with something. We had the adhesive and we had
The adhesive
washi
pro
tape,
print and the washi tape.
and that was a good price.
That was a good price. You can't get that anymore. But this is where it is. I'm just going to say hello to some people and then we will throw. So good morning, Samantha Binks. Good morning, Karen. Oh, there's loads of you. Good morning, Karen Vincent. Good morning, Karen Richardson. Good morning, Suzanne Page. Hubby bought it for you for your 27th anniversary. Oh, I love that. Good morning, Michaela. They're all saying lovely surprise. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Sharon Curtis, you beautiful human. Good morning, Jacqueline Ward. Good morning, Mags. Good morning, Linda Poland. Collection is amazing. Mark was fantastic last night. Listen, guys, dude is a trooper. He, honestly, nothing but respect for the man. Totally sorted everything out. Good morning, Sue Martin. Good. Customer service would be beyond belief. What an amazing job. Well done, everyone. We know this, don't we? How fantastic the team are. Judy Reynolds says, good to see you, Andy. We've missed you.
Thank you.
Sue Martin says, anyone else having problems with the discount code? The discount code works. It does work. It's been tried and tested. However, A, you've got to put it in capitals, CCHH10. The issue is everybody's trying to download those extra vignettes at the same time. So it would be a bit like having 1,000 people trying to walk into a tiny, tiny store. It's weighing it. It's just weighing it down a little bit. So that's why they're giving you another week to download your vignettes, just so if everyone can sort of step away from the vignettes and just get the collection, you'll be fine with your codes. Sharon Curtis says she likes Steven Seagal. She's been calling him Simon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Jacqueline Ward says Steven Seagal. Jacqueline says
Why
Steven
don't you show up?
Seagal
This is
is
much
clever.
easier. I'll just sit here and make comments.
Because you're invading my personal space. Hold on. And it's just odd. Alexis, good morning to you. Sue Martin's got the glass mat in her basket.
Ooh.
Christine, good morning. Linda, and we are going to get on with them. There's so many of you here. There's so many. And just over on YouTube, Mandy Motley, good morning. Vera Bow, good morning. Pam Lillington, good morning. Melanie, good morning. Savvy Crafter, it's 3 a.m. in Missouri, good Lord. Jill, good
Sounds
morning.
like a song.
And Lisa, good morning. Can you buy now? Yes, you can, Lisa. You need to head to the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. There'll be a banner at the top, and one of those options on that main banner will be Hazy Horizons. If you click on that, it will take you to all you need. My advice is just stay away from downloading the vignettes straight away. Go and buy the collection, absolutely. Stay away from the vignettes, give it a day. Download them tomorrow. It's not going to be with you till tomorrow anyway. So that's my advice.
Thank you very much, Carla. Right, we'll crack on with some demonstrations as soon as possible. The demand for this is very, very high, and I think as a casual observer, more than a casual observer, I like to think, I think one of the reasons why it has been proving popular is it's a very nautical theme running throughout. And a little stat that I like to wheel out whenever we talk about the sea in the UK is that I think the furthest point from the sea, any point in the UK, is only 76 miles. You can never be more than 76 miles away from the sea, no matter where you are. It's a huge part of our history. And with the weather turning hopefully a little bit better for everyone, I think we are maybe starting to think about summer holidays. We've had a relatively changeable, I guess you'd say, Coronation Bank holiday. So we are starting to think about spending more time maybe within the UK at the seaside. And I think that's what this allows you to do. However, I also think as well, because you've got the nautical themes within there, and I'll show you some finished examples, might back up a little bit of what I'm saying. One group of people that we know are notoriously difficult to buy for, of course, are men. And I think what you do have here, you do have some examples that would be perfect for the men in your life, because you've got kind of nautical theme within there. So if anyone's into their naval history, for example, these would be elements that could start to incorporate. You'll see I've got some examples here of cars that have also incorporated a couple of those dies that Carla was showing us earlier on. And absolutely right. Your first thought might be, oh, well, you know, it works like nets, catfish, that kind of thing, but it actually works particularly well as a subtle background. But you can also create wonderful scenes within here. I mean, how many of us right now would like to be in that particular scene? As you can see, just lazing back, wide-brimmed hat off, ice cream as big as a bag. I think all of us would love to be there, wouldn't we? But you can see our little characters, which you get, and indeed many of you have fallen in love with Carnation Crash. You can see he's doing his service there. I think he isn't just laying down the towel for himself. I think he's actually flapping the towel to keep her
Wafting.
cool. Wafting, that's what he's doing, exactly. But I'll just show you a couple more, then we'll crack on with some demonstrations. I know that there are different levels of crafters when it comes to Carnation. You can see if you're starting to move into kind of dimensional concept cards, the imagery that you've got, again, from Nick and the in-house team, ensure that no matter what level of crafting you are at, you can create something extra special of any particular size either. Now, again, the demand for this is very, very high. We've got 3 live shows today. As we started this morning's show, half the stock has gone. And listen, Carnation have made it even easier for you to get hold of this today, not only by offering that extra 10% discount code, but also giving you payment options as well. You can pay by PayPal, so that'd be 3 payments of £30, or you can use ClearPay, where you can actually spend it on 4 payments of £22.50. Again, easy for you to place your order. You can go directly to Carnation Craft's website. You can also check out those vignettes, as Carla said, maybe save off. They've given you an extra week's grace. Save off on downloading those right now, but do make sure that you don't miss out on this collection. So that code is 230501. Again, it's 63 dies, but only £89.99. It's 70 pence a die. All right, can I just say, first of all, thank you very much for all your kind messages, giving me a very, very warm welcome. Yes, it's my first time here on Carnation Crafts, covering Dave, as it were. He's away gallivanting. Do you know where he's gone away on holiday?
He's in Spain.
He's in Spain. There he is.
He was posting on social media lots of photos, and it looks incredible where he is. I just say, Linda Parsons, morning Carla, what another beautiful collection. I'm recovering from open heart surgery.
Oh, blimey.
Linda, I hope you're doing really, really
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Thank you
for
for
joining us.
messaging, and thank you for taking the time. Massive hugs to you. I hope you are recovering. Lisa Wilson is saying, please everyone get off the website. I need this. 50%'s gone, so it is time, but if you can just take the time to buy the product and stay away from the vignettes just until later tonight, tomorrow, everyone will have the chance then to do it, and it'll all be good. Should we demo?
Yes, please.
Let's do the thing. It feels weird not having Dave here.
Oh, well,
Just saying.
it feels weird. It feels like I've just woken up in my own bedroom and you two are here. So there we go. It feels like for all of
That's
us.
very strange. Right, let's go here. There's lots of people saying that they can't apply the code. The code works. It definitely works. The issue is the amount of people on the site. So if you're doing it and the code is not going through, don't press to check out. Go back, refresh, go back in and place the code until it does work. It'll be fine. It's just a glitch.
It's capital letters. I think that's the important thing to
Yes,
remember, right?
Charlie, Charlie, Hotel, Hotel,
I
10.
mean, alternatively, if they really want the collection, use that.
I presume that people know who that disembodied voice was. That's a ghost who lives here in the Carnation studio.
They all know and love Miss Tiz Towers. They know her very well.
Okay.
And they know that she has to take care of me. So Lisa's saying, great seeing Andy again, miss him, rest of the guys who are not on Create and Craft. And then Jill says, morning like others. I'd just like to thank Mark for ringing me late last night to tell me he had refunded all the money I had spent on the 6 orders that had gone through by mistake. Carnation are just epic.
Yeah, the customer service is absolutely second to none. You know, they're very passionate about, I'll say this, I can say this, I've just come in covering, but everyone here in the studio and everyone behind the scenes, incredibly passionate about what they do. They want to create something special that you are nothing short of delighted with.
It's just, it just all works. Right, so we're going to have a look at these layers with this weathered card shape. I want to have a look at the perfect papers because they're incredible with this collection. The colours are just beautiful. Once again, Carnation have given us the block colours, and they now have given us those 2 patterned papers. The ones I'm using at the minute are kind of the baby blue, so we still get that tonal change. So you'll have 2 greens, 2 blues, 2 creams, but what we get is a change in pattern as well, and they're just so pretty. They work so well. I'm so pleased. It's a journey that they've decided to go on, because as far as doing your mats and layers, so you can see here where I've got that beautiful block blue, and then sitting on top of it I've got the dotted paper. It's really, really pretty. So you can see them working together. You can see how it comes together. When we start cutting that with our dies, and we've got it sitting like it is in those, look at the baby blues, aren't they so pretty? So see how we start to get that textural difference. When you add in some foam tape, and I'm using a 3mm here, so I'm taking in some different height. When we start adding that in, can you see how, the thing with Carnation, the quality of the dies, see how you get that beautiful edge? Yeah. That really, really comes to life with a little bit of height. I am just going to place this upon. Mrs. Taz, am I about right?
Yeah.
I can't lean over, otherwise you just all get my noggin.
We get to see where the wig starts and stops.
The grey hair. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that pretty as a base?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Really beautiful.
And again, are they using the vignettes?
Yeah, so you get your down, I'm actually, listen, I will explain in full in the next show.
Okay.
All about where you get your vignettes from, all about how it works. I'll do a full explanation, but let's just let that website breathe for a minute. Come back at 1 o'clock and I will give you a full explanation of where you get your vignettes from and how they work. But let's just let it breathe for a minute. What I don't want to do is get you all over there and cause a stampede on the website. So we will talk through it. Right, I'm just going to place this uponst here. Pretty as a picture. Push, pull, and that'll give you your perfect mats and layers.
That actually looks as though you've drawn that.
I know, right? It's so pretty. These sand pieces, and they just aces. So, see how if I place this here, I can start building. And what we're doing is we're building distance. So if I turn this one upside down so that I've got the 2 edges and I just took. What I start to do when I'm doing this now is building distance. What I'm creating is building, and you're stretching that sand line. What you do is create a lovely big ground piece. So those mice, for instance, if you've got the one laying down, and I'll just show you that here because I've got this little one. If I just have him, or her should I say, sitting here, that's just on one piece of sand. So if I take one away and place, okay, what I do by adding more is create perspective, distance and dimension, okay. What I can do then is lift up said mouse and have something further at the front. So just play with where you're putting things, play with how you build that sand, and it'll allow you to create different heights, different shapes on your card. If you want these to be much higher, you can absolutely do that. Now, one other alternative, and is what I will be doing, I will obviously stick those in a second. I'm going to give myself a hidden grounding device, and that's going to sit at the front so I can hide the little mice behind it, and it hides their sand so I can still start to build. Now, what I've done with this is to put it onto a 5mm foam tape. That gives me a huge amount of height, and it means I can just hide this little chap here, and it'll sort of sit like a peekaboo on your card, which is very, very cute. So let's get some adhesive down and shove this onto thither.
Whilst you're doing that, that sand shape that you've got there, if you take the colour away from it, can that also be clouds?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you cut it in white or in grey cardstock, it absolutely would. Little Miss J Moomin is saying hi, Carla, Miss Taz. Very nice to see Andy again. Glad to see you. I hope Lowen is well. Lots of well wishes coming in. And Savvy Crafter says thank you for the most amazing collections. They never fail. They never fail. I honestly, truly believe that Carnation have the strongest artwork in the industry.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
It's the passion they have for it. So I'm just going to place this thither. And then I'm just gonna, I just want it to be sort of responsive to size. So I'm looking at my layers all the time. I think if I place the joy of a mirrored vignette, we can have this facing both ways. We can play, play, play. Mirrored vignette is the artwork that you get from Carnation Crafts. You can cut it so that it has the same image on the back and the front, which means you get double the playway. So we're placing this down. So we're creating distance. Now, I'm going to put this down, but I need to make sure I've got my little mouse where I need her to be first. Otherwise, she's not going to peekaboo at the right stage. So about there. Now, one of the things I want to add in, and it's the one time that your mirrored vignette is not going to be as useful because it's got writing on it. So if I do it that way, it's backwards. So I need to have it this way, obviously, so it's facing. Now, what I don't want to do is cover up the little female mouse sitting there too much. So just watch where you're going with your height and dimension. So I'll take her away for a second, get my sign absolutely where I want it to be, which is about there. So it's just poking behind. I'm going to add a tiny amount of adhesive to this. I don't want it floating too much, so I will put some adhesive just on that larger edge. Remember, glue is sticky. You do not need much. And just sit that on. Look how pretty that is. Sit that there. And then I'm going to take this, but this one, I'm not going to take the backing off, which means I can still tuck stuff behind. I'm using it purely as support. Take it. It's really warm in here.
It is warm, isn't it? But you know, that's good. It's keeping us awake. You're creating a beach scene. It feels like the beach here, just with less ice cream and fun.
No ice cream whatsoever. Right, I'm just going to place, look how pretty they are. So see now how, because we've got those florals, the sign goes back. We're creating distance, okay? And that's something that's really important when you're doing your visual elements on a card. Now I can place my mouse. Because I've hidden the sand on that sign, it doesn't matter if she's sitting above. One thing I'm not going to do with her specifically is create dimension, because that's going to cause me some problems. So I won't be using the ball tool. The reason being is I need her to be able to tuck behind my florals. So she'll stay flat. Out. And we'll just place a tiny amount of adhesive on there. She's going to stay totally flat, just hidden, peekabooing. Is she using a mirror to tan herself, do you think, or is it a book and she's fallen to sleep?
Is she what, sorry?
You know, see how you get those silver foil things when you're on holiday, and
yes.
you can use them to tan yourself? I can't work out if she's holding one of those or if she's reading a book and falling asleep.
I think if you fall asleep, you can't hold a book.
I don't know. I've woken up a few times with a book, maybe on my face. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, maybe on.
I've got to kept it there. What do you think? Why don't you message in? We're live and interactive.
Who, me? I don't need to, I'm here.
Yes, why don't you pick out your phone and message in? Let us know what you
I'm
think,
already
Carla.
here, dude. Right, so we've got this little chap here in his beautiful pants. Now, the problem that we've got here is that we've created a massive amount of white space on this card, and I would never leave, because we're working in thirds. So at the minute what I've got is literally that whole top half all naked, and this is very busy. Now you've got to balance that somehow, but because this is busy, what you don't want to do is overextend on that side, because what will happen is there'll just be a cacophony of colour and texture, and it'll be too much. So we bring it back. So all I'm going to do is use the other mouse, and I'm using him very specifically to create height. So that's where I'm going with it. I just want to build some height on that side, keeping some white space. If you keep it clean and you keep it simple, you'll have those beautiful lines that we're looking for when we're making our cards. So taking a ball tool, and the reason I'm going to create texture on him or dimension on him very specifically is because he's going to be my only piece really over here. So he's going to be kind of the showstopper, right? He's the thing we're going to look at. He's going to be our visual focus, and that's why we do it. Whenever we're shaping out with paper, make sure you're using the right size ball tool for your sculpting surface area. His tummy is very beautifully rotund, and we're going to take advantage of that by using the ball tool. We always start on the edge here, And that's because the weave of the paper is already broken here. If I go straight in the middle, I'm going to crunch it, and I don't want to do that. So we take the ball tool and we start sculpting. So you're burnishing it really, and you're doing that in a round. So we're just going to follow his pants all the way. Things I never thought I would say on a Carnation show.
Follow
I'm just
his pants.
following his pants.
Yep.
Then
We've
following
done that
his
before, right, girls?
then following his back line. Then I'm going to do his little ear just here, and I'm going to do his head. So I'm not really working in the middle here. I am just shaping out those smaller elements. I'll just do a little bit on his face, but then what I want to do is start to concentrate on his tummy, because the one thing I do want to make rotund is his tummy. So where I've broken the fibres on the edge, I'm going to start working round in like a sort of a half moon shape. Just following. Can you see how that's starting to become more and more rotund? That means that I can fill that pocket that I've created with pin flare, and that's going to allow him to sit very, very proud. Look at his tummy now. He's just beautiful, but we can't have that curvature on him because it'll cause us problems. So we're going to take his neck and we're just going to pull this forward so that his head, the musculature around his neck is correct.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What weight would you suggest people print onto to get the same kind of shape that you've achieved?
120 GSM Pro Print paper for double vignettes. If you're printing a single vignette, then a 220 Pro Print. I'm never going to recommend anything other than Pro Print for printing your vignettes because the colour is absolutely magnificent. So there he sits in all his glory. That's trailing in the wind. Now I'm just going to add some tiny detailing just at the bottom edge here, just as a small detail piece. I do not want to steal from my white space. I am a-okay with that white space. It's giving my eyes a rest. So, I love this shell. I love the colour of it. I'm just going to place this in. I'm tucking and just hiding, just on that edge piece. And then I'll take in with the little starfish.
Yeah.
Starfish. The thing. I'm going to do the red thing.
You've surely seen a starfish before.
I don't think... Do people do starfishes in the snow?
No, that's snow angels you're thinking of.
I don't know the things, but I do know how to make a card. And that, my friends, is incredibly beautiful. And it is the Hazy Horizons collection from Carnation, which we are launching today.
Very nicely done. Well done, Carla. Thank you very much. You know, earlier on you would talk about an example of the card that had...
Yes!
The,
That's not the one, though.
Oh, is it not the one? Oh, okay. But two reasons I want to highlight it. One, it's a slight twist on the example you've just shown. But if I bring it forward, you should see how. It reminds me of cherry blossom, actually. That's what I meant to say earlier on. And you can see how around the outside it kind of creates like a perfect background for you to expand out of the frame. So that's where you can start to use your floral elements within there as well. Now relax is the suggestion there. That's for our producer, Taz. Let me show you a couple more, because we've got plenty more to show you.
Because she is wound so tight.
She seems all right now. She's kind of a bit more relaxed now. Now, again, the one thing you'll notice with Carnation, I mean, obviously innovation and creativity is a huge part of what they do. The finished examples, and listen, it's been a while since I've presented a Carnation craft show, but the samples are always varied. Really, really varied. Not only in terms of how you decorate them, but the actual cards themselves are completely varied.
Strongest DT team this side of Manchesterford without any hesitation.
Yeah, very good. Here's another example, actually. Now I'll talk about cards for the men in your life. Here's another one you can see. We're again utilising that net die that we showed you earlier on at the back. And then, of course, something perfect for Dad. Because what do you get your dad for birthday? But, if you enjoy spending time at the sea, for example, then this would be something that would be ideal for him. All of these are taking their inspiration from this brand new collection that's been launched by Carnation Crafts. As a preview show yesterday, the popularity was incredibly high and the demand today is incredibly high. We started this show about 40 minutes ago and half the stock has gone. Now, it's the perfect time to buy. Why? A, because it's still in stock. B, because it's actually available on a discount if you use the discount code CCHH10. If you're thinking of using the discount code you get as standard with your membership letter, you can use that, but you can't use both. All right, but this one has been specifically designed to use in conjunction with the Hazy Horizon. So if you use that, you get 10% off. Means it brings the price down to £89.99. There are 63 dies. It's a big collection. 63 dies in total. Works out at 70 pence per die. And obviously you can pay for it outright, or you can go for it on PayPal, pay in 3. £30 is all you need to pay today if you want to take advantage of that, or you can take advantage of ClearPay. It's 4 payments at £22.50. Can I just ask very quickly about angel policy for people who don't know?
Yeah, Carnation Crafts have got a completely free angel policy with only one caveat, and that is simply that you have to cut it in order to be able to sell it. So once you've downloaded your vignettes, be those for your USBs or indeed for your dies, you've got to actually cut it, either with your cutting machine or with your die cutting machine. And once you've done that, you can sell it. Now, what that means is make your cards, sell them, donate for charity, do all of the things, or set up, like I do, where I've got bags for a demo. Set up those, set up a workshop, hand them out, get people to come to your workshop and teach them how to make cards. Up to you what you do. Put in bags of seagulls, because everybody would want a bag of seagulls, and then sell them. Put them onto your Elevate. Sell them as stickers. You do you, but you got to cut it. You can't sell the files, just so you know.
All right, thank you very much for that. All right, so are you ready for another demonstration?
I am. I want to get 2 demonstrations in if I can before we go. We might not have time, so I'll do a bit of speed crafting. I want to work with the circle weathered card shape because it's beautiful, really stunning, and we're just going to have a walk through that. I was saying to you that it has like a certain point on it where everything goes together, and it is, look at those colours. Isn't that so pretty? Wait till we bring all this together. It is just cute. And we're going to use Brian because I love him.
You mean Stephen?
Nope. And Miss Taz, am I about? Up, down?
Taz is, again, the ghost in the room who Carla has a very unnerving relationship with, so she has to check things with her. No one can see Taz, but if you ever meet Carla and she starts talking to Taz, it's a bit like Derek Acora and Sam, if you remember that, not that long ago.
I once saw Derek Acora. This is a true story. Am I allowed to tell this story or not?
We'll find out if we get taken off early, Susan.
I was at York Dungeons and Derek Acora was there. And in a twist of fate, they had like a massive power cut and it blew the theatre lamps in the room that we were in the dungeons. And everybody, including Derek Acora, screamed and ran out of the building.
Really?
Turns out none of us were brave. That's a true story.
Oh, there you go, wonderful.
Right, let's get this onto here. Look at that colour. Isn't that just beautiful? I love the dotted papers. They're so pretty. Now, this obviously sits with these little pokies at a certain point. And if you look and you get it the wrong way around, this is where I was going. So I was trying to do it this way because I thought my pointy bit would go in there and it doesn't. So just so you know, just shift it around. I'm using some adhesive here, so wet adhesive if you like, the everyday glue, and I can move that to where I need it to be. We're obviously using Saturday because we like to use the appropriate bottle for the appropriate day.
It's been over a year.
Who said that?
And you've got it right once.
Well, if we went to air on a Saturday, I would get it right every time at the minute. They've all seen Miss Taz, you know. She has actually been in front of the camera before because she made a card at one point.
Sure she has, Carla. Sure she has. There's no one else in this studio. It's just you and me.
Who's working the candles? The candles?
The candles? There are no candles.
Who is working the candles?
Who is working the candles? Where do those candles come from? Quick, call Derek and Cora. He'll know what to do.
Mark, Nick, I'd like a word about who you allow in the studio from now on, please, if that's okay.
I don't think I'm the problem. It's this made-up people that you keep introducing into the studio that's the real issue.
The thing is, Mark and Nick would believe you, but they have met Taz.
I'd like to think a couple of times. Who is she?
Where's that voice coming from?
She occasionally goes to see them. They know who she is. Right, let's look at these florals. Look at that. I love the way we make that gateway, and the only reason we can do that is because we have mirrored vignettes. We can do that because of that. If I didn't have a mirrored vignette, I would have to have that facing the other way. I would be dictated to by the company providing the dies. That frustrates me. I like choice, and that's about creative. you know, creative options. We should have those options. We get them with Carnation. It's important. Right, let's shape out some florals. I'm going to shape these so that they are cupped inwards as opposed to outwards, just because of the shaping of the little poppies here. I'm calling them poppies. I've got absolutely no clue what they really are. We'll just stick with that. So
They might be poppies. If you know at home, why not message in?
oh, they always help me out because I'm hopeless. They'll tell you I'm hopeless with florals.
I think the white, I mean, they can correct me obviously, but I think the white are chrysanthemum.
The disembodied voice believes that the white ones are chrysanthemum. I don't think they're.
Potentially.
Are they not carnations?
No,
The white ones?
no.
Oh.
Carnations don't look like that. They're big fuzzy wuzzy.
No, they could be
Blues.
chrysanthemums. Can we call Monty Don? Do we Taj, have his number?
We should call Alan Titchmarsh. That's who we
Or
should
Charlie
call.
Dimmock. Any of those guys. If those guys are watching, if they could email in, we'd appreciate it if you do know what flowers they are.
I'm just using some pin flare so that I can raise these up, just so I can create some height and get some shadow play going at the bottom of these gateways, and it allows me that grounding device. Okay, so what happens there, can you see the shadows coming through behind? Really pretty. It just adds texture. Shadows are free. Last thing to do on this, I'm going fast because I do want to get that extra demo in, and
Okay.
I will be quick, but I'll just shape Brian out a little bit. Now, just to talk through Brian with you, there are elements in this that separate. So we've got a wing on this side, a wing on this side, and his body span through. So this elongated shape here is going to be a separate sculpt to the wings. The wings will be sculpted separately. That's going to give you shaping on the front of it. So what I'm going to do here is take this size ball tool again, and I'm going to work from the edge of his wing, follow that shading line down. Then I'm going to work on this side, break your fibres first, and then I can go through and give his little wing just a shape, and you can see how it becomes indented. You've got that beautiful shaping. Same again on this side, but all I'm going to do with him, this side, is just work that way. Now, very specifically at this point, I need to change ball tool. I can't stick with the same one because this is way too small for that surface area. So I either need to go in with the second largest or indeed the largest. It's up to me which way I choose to go. I'm going to choose the second because it's sort of more appropriate with his head. So I'll work around at this side, working on the free edge first, always on the free edge first. Now, I've broken the fibres around his wing, so I'm going to follow that round now with this bigger ball tool. So I'm creating a heavier, more robust kind of shaping here because we're using, obviously, that heavier tool. Then I'm just going to go and work through the middle. And there is some beautiful shaping. Again, bring in some of that musculature, just bring his neck forward so that shaping sits and he becomes rotund, but you have separation between the wing and the body. So perspective wise, because his wing was done with the smaller ball tool, that's going to protrude further forward and it will look more 3D. Easy ways of sculpting in paper. Then I'm going to take a small ball tool, so I'll take this one. It's not the smallest, but it's one of the smaller, and just shape out some of that ice cream just on those edges, just to give it a bit of a 3D dimension, nothing excessive. And note how I'm not going right into the center of them, it's just the edges of the ice cream that I'm doing that with. Little span down the side of the cone. See how it rises up? Can you see? It curls up like, can you remember those magic fish
Yes.
that react to the heat in your hand?
Fortune-telling fish.
Yes.
I always wanted one of those at Christmas, but I never got one.
It's been a hard life.
Yeah.
You don't know what we're talking about, do you, Taz? Because
No idea.
you're not old. Right, what I'm going to do here is take this pin flare, and where I have shaped his body, I'm going to fill it, and I'm going to do height. For those of you who don't know how to kind of sculpt with pin flare, I won't be able to fit him in, I don't think, but however high I fill my pin flare with, that's how it's going to dry. So if I was to put 5 centimeters worth of pin flare underneath him, he will dry 5 centimeters high. It's a sculpting mechanism and it's a tool to allow you to create shadow, dimension, all of those things, but you have to let it dry for 24 hours, otherwise you're just going to squish it flat and it'll splodge, and we don't want that. So it's whatever you decide to do. So for him, because my rule of thumb, generally speaking, is how far did I sculpt? How big, how deep is that bow line? I want my pin flare to be slightly higher than my bow line because that's going to allow him to sit you know, afloat almost. You're looking for that effect. And that's why we sculpt, and that's why we use this. So as a rule of thumb, I'm going to go to about there. You can just see that on the overhead. So it sits slightly further forward. That's going to allow that dimension that we've created to come to life. I'm going to tuck him behind my flowers because he is my grounding, or they are my grounding device. And the reason we didn't do too much sculpting on the ice cream is because Brian stole it. Brian stole the ice cream.
That's what seagulls will do, you know. It's in their nature.
Stole it. And now he is running off with the ice cream because he's a very naughty but very, very beautiful little gull.
I once had my lunch stolen by a seagull when I was in America.
They stole my chips. Literally very, very, very traumatic experience for me. That, and I once had to have a photo when I was about 4 with a monkey. That was pretty traumatic as well.
Why did you have to? What school was
Because I was
this?
in Spain, and
What school photo was this?
and everyone had to do it. So you see how his tummy is really round?
Well, it will be after all the ice creams.
All of the shaping. You've got those florals that protrude forward. Give yourself time to sculpt. Because Carnation have the cut lines in them, those sculpture opportunities are just too good to not take, and it allows all of that beautiful dimension to come through. Take the time and you'll get some really beautiful results from it. It's a bit of a thing with sculpting paper. You have to dominate the paper, otherwise the paper's going to dominate you. So you've got to take the time to learn how to do it. You've got to not allow it to crease. Don't go into your center points. Always start on your edges. But it gives you so much back when you do it. So please do have a go with it. The ball tools are on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk.
Nicely done. Right, Carla's going to get ready for another demonstration. We'll get one more in before the end of the show. I am going to show you some more finished examples, incorporating some of those elements that Carla has already shown you. I've actually got some kind of DL sort of landscape cards here. You can see that's one telling a scene within itself. In this case, the seagull has actually stolen an inflatable. Or it could be a wrapped sub sandwich that he's stolen away. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. You can tell your own story. It doesn't always have to be a lot of detail. If I go on to the next one thing I should be doing, of course, is giving names, because all these cards do have names on the back. I do apologise for that. Barbara made the previous one. This was made by Sue. I don't know, that looks like a kind of coat of arms. I don't know, it's got like sort of jewellery. It looks like a brooch to me.
It's nice, isn't it?
One. That's a really smart one.
That's using the ropes from that set of nested.
Right, okay. From that one. We've got, yes, that sound effect is back. You've got this is from Janine, who made that particular one. Did we mention Janine earlier on? I think we did, didn't we?
We love Janine.
And then one other one I did want to show, and actually, to be fair, it was the ghostly apparition of Taz, who wanted to show this one, because it's actually a good example of that beautiful flower. Which, again, do we get anyone to identify those flowers, Carla?
Yes. So somebody has said that they are hydrangeas, the big white ones, I think, and the wonderful Carol says that I think the red ones are sea carnations.
That would make sense.
So, don't know if you remember, just a few minutes ago, someone did suggest carnations, and he was kind of shot down. I don't know if you remember that. Is there any way we can watch things back on the internet? Oh, there is. Good. Now, if you would like to go for this collection, which plenty of you are doing, all you need is that code 230501. Remember, you can get the entirety of this collection, 63 dies, 70 pence a die, with that 10% discount if you take advantage of the discount code, either the one that's come with your monthly subscription, monthly email, or the one that's available for this collection. You can't use both, though. But if you do want to use the one that's been set up for this particular collection, that's CCH10, all capital letters, CCH10. Can take advantage of PayPal, of course, so 3 PayPal payments of £30, or you can take advantage of ClearPay as well, £22.50. And of course, obviously it's over £50. You aren't going to pay anything in terms of postage and packaging. Right, are we going to get one more demonstration in?
Let's go. We're going to speedcraft a little bit, and we're going to do something slightly different this time. So I've made my base card. It's a DL, but I have elongated it, and I've done that on purpose. And the reason that I haven't used a die for this is because I very much needed to measure it. But One of the card shapes that I am using is the inner circle from the weathered card shape, and you'll see why in a second. Card base done, same way we always do it. And then I'm going in with some of those perfect papers. I'm on a 3mm foam tape for this, so we're going a little bit on a raise just to create some different textures. Now, very specifically, I have left an inch, so it'll be like ½ an inch around the whole of this. So I want a framing device, and that's why I'm using this. I'm just going to place down. No idea if it's straight 'cause can't lean over, so is what it is at this stage. Then I'm pulling this through. Then we go from that, and I'm going, look at that. Get your backing papers,
Yeah,
dudes.
absolutely.
They're so pretty. These are absolutely gorgeous. Going in with this, pulling that through, creating layers. And I'm just look at the pretty border on this. Really sweet. Push, pull. Okay, now we're taking in one of those nested. See how we're coming through now with the nested? We're bringing things together. So I'm taking a couple of the different card shapes and I'm bringing them as they pull. Look at this. Pretty, pretty, pretty. See how we're leaving the gaps between because it creates this beautiful dimension. I've got no idea whether these are straight or not. I'm speed crafting. You'll get the idea. So, going to push.
And this is using the nested rope DL dies.
Look how pretty that is. Now, choices, options. What do I want to do here? Well, one of the things that we can do is place some florals at opposing end, which I really love. Something really pretty and fresh about that, right? Doesn't overcompensate, it just does exactly what we want. So I'm going to take this and push the adhesive just on the edge because that's what's going to tuck under, using my foam tape to make sure that I've got something to butt against underneath, and also just making sure it sits support. Isn't that so pretty? I love how this wee bloom comes down. It's just pretty as a picture. I'm going to tell you the same on the other side, but at the top, just to give it that beautiful opposition. So I'm using the foam tape underneath, and that is just allowing me to have a place that allows it to butt up. Now, let's go. You'll notice that lots of my characters are a bit chopped off, right? Brian looks like a cameo. He's so handsome. I'm so in love with Brian. And then...
Who's Brian?
The seagull.
Oh, right, yes, of course.
So, all of my pieces, I'm not shaping out because I don't have time, but naturally I would normally shape these, just so you know. But I've got the 3 little pieces as they are. Now, look, Brian's going to wear a hat. I mean, he's just dapper, isn't he? So, using the circles from the weathered frame, okay, we're just going to make sure these all fit correctly, and this is why my DL.
Oh, nice. So it looks like it becomes like a porthole, doesn't it?
It is. It is the cutest family portrait ever. Look at the cuteness. Brian needs to come down a little bit.
That is a really good idea if you did want to incorporate photos of the family in there as well. It's a nice idea.
So this is why my DL is the size it is, because everything had to be measured to those little circle frames. That is beyond cute. Now I can't lift it up because I haven't glued anything, because we have the need to obviously get it sort of sorted because we're up on the hour.
Yes.
But that is such a lovely card. It's a really pretty way of working with this collection that doesn't necessarily make it totally coastal, but it makes it incredibly cute. I would probably just pull that down a little bit so it's more of a grounding device and they're just poking through. But simply by using your snip lines just to cut into your dies, you can make something really, really cute, really sweet and really different, and that's how we can play with this collection. Hazy Horizons is just insanely awesome. Sue has finally managed to check out. Well done, Sue. We do apologise for the issues with the website. It is sorted. It's just the volume of people that went onto the website and started downloading those vignettes. If you look at the fact that you're talking about hundreds of people trying at the same time. Massive apologies from Carnation. They have sorted it all out. The only reason to email them would be if you feel like you've paid twice for a collection. If you think you've ordered 2, Mark has sorted out all replicas, but if you feel like there's still an issue, absolutely do email through. But there's so many emails that they're trying to wade through them. So please only email if absolutely necessary. That's customer services at carnationcrafts.co.uk.
Nicely done, wonderful. All right, and by way of apology, Carnation have extended the availability of those vignettes until next Sunday, so you don't need to worry about getting them today. There's plenty of time for you to get them. However, the same cannot be said of this brand new collection. It's of course your Hazy Horizons collection at £89.99 with your discount code. That's why it's the best price. Whether or not you use the one that you get with your subscription letter or you go for the one that's been released specifically for this collection, there it is on your screen, CCH10. Make sure you do use capitals. CCH10, you'll get an extra 10% taken off, taking it down to £89.99, and of course it'll be free UK postage and packaging. We will be back with you at 11 with more inspiration, but now's the perfect time to treat yourself to something extra special. Thanks once again to Carla, thanks once again to the voice of Taz, and we'll see you back here at 11.